Okay, so yesterday we were unable to finish the last example of our notes, proportions, solving proportions with word problems. So what I want to do is go back and finish them up. So we talked about Ariel, who holds the track record at the Indy 500 when he drove the 500 miles, averaging 13.442 miles for every 5 minutes. So yesterday, you guys told me this information right here was my ratio of units, meaning my ratio of units, I'm comparing miles to minutes. You guys also told me then our known information. So our known information, he was able to drive 13.442 miles in 5 minutes. And then the unknown information, or the stuff that we need to find out, you guys went on to tell me, at that rate, how many miles could he travel in 1 hour? Well, we're not talking about hour, though. We can't change our units. So we had to change that hour, that 1 hour, to minutes. So how many minutes are in an hour? 60. So we put our 60 on the bottom. And then we determined we need to figure out how many miles he could drive. So now we're ready to start where we left off. From here, I'm going to cross multiply. When you're solving word problems and you have to write the units on behind it, it might be easier to always cross multiply where the variable is going to be first. Does that make sense? So when you go to write your answer, you won't have to squeeze that unit in. So if I want you to cross multiply with the variable first, what does that mean? What two numbers are you going to have to multiply together? Nope, I want you to cross multiply with the variable first.
Oh, 5 and M.
Yeah, 5 and M. So we're just going to go from bottom to top, and that's okay. So what's 5 times M?
5 and M.
And then we're going to cross multiply our other numbers, 13.442 times 60.
It's 806. 806.
652.
Okay? So I'm ready to solve a one-step equation. So back to first triad, draw our line, circle our variable. To get the variable by itself, I do the opposite of multiply, which is divide. So on my left side, my 5's cancel. I bring down my variable m. Then 806.652 divided by 5 gets me what?
161. 9. I think 304. No, 304.
161.3304. Take 1 3 off.
Yeah.
I have too many. It's just .304. Did I read that wrong?
I think so.
Look at it again.
It's 161.304.
I got 2 too.
I did too. Yeah, double check it.
It's 2.
Okay, so from here, what are we trying to find? How many what? Miles. So no part of this does it tell me to round. I'm not dealing with money, so I don't need to worry about rounding it to the nearest cent. Because it's not telling me a specific number to round it to, and it's not dealing with money, I'm going to leave it like this. However, what's the unit I need to attach to it? You guys just told me. Miles. So, he was able to drive 161 and 3,304 ten-thousandths of a mile. That's your final answer. Now, because we solved with the variable, or cross multiplied with the variable first, I had enough room then to write my units. All right, let's go to the last part of the example problem. So, the second part of the question is asking how long would it take him to drive 500 miles? We're using the same ratio of units. We're using our same known numbers. The only thing that's going to change is our unknown. So again, our ratio of units, we're still talking about, miles and minutes. So write that down. We're still using the same information from the start of our word problem. So if we're doing miles to minutes, so we're still talking about the numbers 13.442 over 60 minutes. Or excuse me, 65 minutes. And then our unknown. This is the new part. So the unknown. So it's now asking me, how long would it take him to drive 500 miles? What unit do I know? What number do I know?
No, 500.
500 what? Miles. So where would the 500 go? Top or bottom? Okay. So what am I trying to find out? Yeah, how long it would take him. How many minutes? So the variable, it doesn't matter what variable you put in place of it. Since I'm talking about minutes, I'm just going to put M. You can use X, you can use Y, you can use whichever variable you want to. I usually always try to use it the first letter of the word I'm talking about though. All right, solve as usual. Again, it's easier to cross multiply when you're dealing with word problems where the variable is going to be first. So which two numbers am I going to cross multiply so I get the variable first? You guys are taking a quiz over this tomorrow. Yeah. So I really hope you're paying attention and you're trying to answer these questions as I'm asking them. So again, when you go to cross multiply, you don't have to do it this way. It just makes it easier. I like to cross multiply where I'm going to get my variable in my answer first. So what am I going to cross multiply with first?
13.
Yeah. So 13.442 times M, which gets me 13.442M, equals, so my other two numbers left to cross multiply would be my 5 times 500, which equals 2,500. All right. What do I do from here? Draw your line, circle your variable. How do I get that variable by itself? So when you do that,
Do we gotta round it?
we're probably going to round that.
So what?
Let's get our answer first. So what do we have here?
185.984222228.
That's a long number. What do you guys want to round it to? I'll give you some choices. You can round it to the nearest whole minute. You can round it to the nearest tenth, the nearest hundredth. Which would you prefer to do?
Yeah.
I say we should do the nearest whole minute.
Why would you give us a choice?
I know. I wanted you to pretend that you guys had a voice, but you don't. Sorry. No. So if you're going to round it to the nearest whole minute, what does that mean? What number am I rounding it to then?
They're 5.
Yeah, good job. The number in front of the stuttered there. The number in front of the decimal. Do you hear that? That double D there? So the number in front of the decimal is the 5. I look directly to the right of it. Is the number behind it 5 or greater?
Yes.
So how many minutes did it take me?
186.
So 186 minutes. Good. All right. That's the rest of your notes.